Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've been asked this question so many times, if Strattera or Atomoxetine, whichever you call it, causes emotional bluntness, and the answer is yes. I can only talk about my own experience, but as somebody who, when they had the ADHD was really prevalent and wasn't treated, I found that my emotions were so hard for me to regulate, like incredibly hard, to the point where they were kind of almost like bipolar in nature. As in, what I mean by that is like they were very strong. I'd be like really miserable or frustrated and overwhelmed, or I'd be the opposite of that, where I'd be like super happy and passionate. And obviously those feelings were all great, the good ones, but they were mostly negative for me. And then I would do things that I would come to regret. They made me I felt like the emotions were making me very impulsive, and I don't know if that's got to do with the dopamine, but yeah, I would do things just to try and get those highs, those feelings of being really high, like on life almost, and I don't really experience those feelings anymore, but at the same time I don't experience sort of depression in that same way that I did in the past. And what I found is that once you hit a certain dose, the emotional bluntness becomes too much, and that's kind of telling you that that dose is too high for you, because obviously like we need to have some kind of emotions in our life. We can't just be emotionless, because then we typically wouldn't be human, and wouldn't enjoy life. But what I found with the Atomoxetine is it kind of helped me balance. So rather than having emotions that were like here and here, it kind of helped me to like bring them more neutral. Not exactly neutral, I still experience emotions, but nowhere near such strong emotions that I couldn't really handle, and kind of made me feel like I was a crazy person. And then I often found, and what I've read a lot of and heard people say, is that Atomoxetine is often given to people who have emotional dysregulation problems over normal stimulant medication, which is the more popular choice for treating ADHD, because the emotional issues are, you know, often lead to things like anxiety and depression as well. And Atomoxetine is an SNRI. I never remember if it's SNRI or SRNI. I think it's SNRI. And obviously like it's like acts like an antidepressant. And so you would imagine that, yeah, it would cause some emotional bluntness, but I think that's such a harsh term for it, because it's a certain dose that will cause you to have that emotional bluntness where you're not feeling anything. And that's one of the reasons I stepped down from 30 to the 25, and I find the 25 is really good for me. I feel like I could still have an improvement on my focus, my concentration, and my getting myself to do things, but sometimes I'm considering maybe they're just aspects of my personality, who knows. But yeah, I do feel that Atomoxetine is one of those drugs that will help you with your emotions, rather than seeing it as like a really bad thing, that it's trying to control your emotions, take them away. It's more that you just got to get the right dose for you. And it, you know, I always recommend, if like obviously I'm not a doctor or anything and you need to speak to a doctor, starting on a really low dose. If you're offered Atomoxetine, just tell your doctor, I'm really worried about the side effects, and they will start you on a lower dose, and build you up gradually, and then you can really figure out what dose is best for you. I really recommend this drug, as it's really had a huge impact on my life, and yeah, I don't have to deal with those mood swings and feeling so overwhelmed and having like meltdowns and things like that. Like, I just don't deal with those things, and if I do, it's probably some kind of like hormonal imbalance going on, you know. It's not actually anything to do with the ADHD. So I'm really grateful to have this medication. Every day I take it, I'm just like, I feel lucky to take it. And yeah, I feel like I've explained that pretty well, so hopefully it helps if you have any